Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by CJ Abernathy for South Dakota District 23 Senate 2020. A father, an activist, a Marine Corps combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient with a bachelor's degree in information technology software engineering. CJ is the executive producer for the Adam vs. the Man podcast with Adam Kokesh, and the CEO of Internet Warlords, the War for the Internet, as well as a former 2018 South Dakota Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, and a 2020 South Dakota delegate to the Libertarian National Convention. If you would like to join this broadcast, click the link in the description. Coffee and a Conversation starts now. Have a great day or don't. The choice is always yours.
Man, what a slow news day. I don't even know what to tell you today. I got up this morning. Listen, you know your life is getting interesting when you start dreaming about work problems from the day in your sleep. Then you got to wake up and figure out how to solve them. And your dream didn't make it any easier. My problem is like having two male ends of an extension cord. And I'm trying to plug it into the same hole. And it's just not working. What's up, everybody? It is your boy CJ, the Internet Warlord, coming to you live and loud from the great state of Meth Dakota. You know Meth Dakota. It's the state just south of North Dakota. That Dakota, the state formerly known as South Dakota, until the Queen of Meth, Governor Kristi Noem, declared by proclamation that we here are all on meth. Man, it's Friday. What's up, Steve? I am definitely a statist. I will be interviewing your buddy Michael on Monday. I look forward to that. There are a lot of people here in South Dakota that have enjoyed your guys' brand of humor. Interesting day, to say the least. What's up, Matt? The busiest man in show business. Well, I appreciate that. I'm actually the show business is a second part to politic, for sure. Oh, look, I got money. Yay. How cool is that? I might be able to pay for this software here for a second. Holy shit. Well, I just spent another $30 on software and upgrades because I'm trying to figure out how to take Adam versus the Man to the next level. And I mean, put all of the other broadcasting, platforms out there in the dust. Like, I mean, it's a work in progress. I guess I could give you guys a little example of what it would look like here. It's not like top secret shit going on, but OBS has some software things here. I guess this wouldn't make much sense to most of you, but this might, doing some animating intros and whatnot for the broadcast. I'll be right back with like your socials, top donor for the broadcast, things of that nature, stream ending, an intermission where you could even have an intermission show. Like, I mean, And then, of course, offline, it's Frozen. All your socials. I want to create one that has a list of every sponsor through Patreon. So that way, at the end of every broadcast, patrons can have their name, recorded on there as a supporter of that episode for the rest of history. I'm constantly thinking about new ideas on how to make the show better for, Adam versus the Man supporters. I've met a lot of awesome people through this process. So, I feel like it's not just a job at this point. It's not like I wake up and I punch a time clock and go, all right, boss, tell me what I'm doing today, master. Tell me what, I'll whip myself, master. I'll whip myself. And, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, have we had our issues? Of course. I compare Adam versus the Man to the Apollo program. We are shooting for the moon every mission. We're shooting for the moon every mission. And, like yesterday, that was an Apollo 13 type mission. We've had shows where you just get off the broadcast and you're like, damn, from start to finish, that show was awesome. The guest was on point. The news and the analysis was there, and it doesn't matter how many people are watching it. I mean, that's second to, is the message and the context correct, and is what we're trying to do being fulfilled to you, the audience. And I mean, Adam takes it very personal. I know Jim takes it personal. I take it personal, that we when we do something where we're like, oh dang, we kind of screwed that one up. We always break it down into how can we make it better. And everybody from Adam to Jim to myself has accepted our responsibilities when we do mess up. It's been a team. Thank God nobody actually dies in this process. I mean, this isn't like we're traveling to space, but, I sit here at mission control and I see things that you on the other end of this screen have no idea. And I compare it to, I compare it to, the Apollo missions. It's just kind of my way of making it feel like it's got some significance, Now to other people, they'd be like, oh, just three guys, just, trying to be famous. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think we could all make a claim, certainly Adam, that we're libertarian infamous. Adam might be libertarian famous. I'm certainly libertarian infamous. Jim, I don't know, maybe. I mean, it's still, he's maybe infamous for sure. But yeah, I enjoy what I do. And I wish I could make this into a large career with supporters backing. And I mean, I put in long hours. I mean, I'm up, I do my own broadcast. Then I get up and then I start the Digital Studio Freedom about 10 o'clock. So, yeah, like I said, do my own thing. So I can get some camera time to say, this is what I think about the crazy in the world. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, today's a slow news day, a slow apocalypse day. So if you want to join this broadcast, if you're like, shut up, statist, and you want to join the broadcast, and there's a link in the description you can click. It'll be backstage, or bring you backstage, excuse me. I didn't forget it today. And you can take up the whole screen today if you want. If you're like, CJ, I can take over your show better than you. Just put me on screen. I'll give you the whole screen today. I mean, not just half. Like, you can have the whole enchilada. I mean, all you gotta do is be brave enough to take your booger picker and stick it on your screen over the link that says join. And then I'm gonna hear an audible doop in my ear, meaning that you have the testicular huevos to actually have a conversation with somebody this morning. And then then we go from there. It's like a wild experience, so to speak. I can host up to 9 of you guys. I mean, I don't even have that many viewers. So if all my viewers were like, let's just go in and bombard CJ, put us all up there, I'd be like, well, I'm overran, you know? But I've been trying to do a lot of stuff with Adam versus the Man. Honestly, I think there's a cost benefit analysis to be weighed out here with how we move to our transitions to away from broadcasting on these public platforms, because they're toxic. They really truly are toxic for not only your mental health but your work environment. The numbers are always deflated. There are mechanisms of censorship through algorithms. I mean, how does a channel like Adams with 240,000 subscribers, mainly all based in the United States, compared to other platforms with similar numbers, and you can see these are all public information. So as a producer, I see all these things and I go, yeah, it's censorship for sure. It's because, put it to you this way, I've said it like this: those blue check marks, the more famous statist cocksuckers, the ones that would stroke Trump off for a Jolly Rancher, or the ones that would just, for each side. Really, it's for each side. The ones that would let Biden sniff your kids, those people, or the ones that would suck Trump off for a Jolly Rancher. Those same people on both sides of the perspective here, of the spectrum here. Excuse me, I can't speak today. More coffee. Shut up, statist. Say you're sorry. Now, it just, like I said, there's both sides, folks. There's the blue team and the red team, and this people has its vocal top social media, and these people have their top vocal social media celebrity types. Admittedly, do we say one side is more censored than the other? Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't really. I'm pretty sure that left people get banned at, a similar rate to the right people. They just like to each claim their own victim status to their own social advantage. So that's a whole different ballgame. So, anyways, to the point of this fucking rant, there's a cost-benefit analysis to me on how the show progresses forward, and I look at other inspirations out there in the, I don't know, podcast sphere, where, I go, okay, well, we could take an element of this and an element of that, a sousson of this and a dash of that, and how do we merge that in? And as a producer, it's not my job to control the host. Of course, Adam is his own man and with his own opinion, and you can watch him take a third rail and go for an hour on it, or a comment and go, well, let me put that on the screen and let me go for a half hour. It's unpredictable, and I love that aspect of it, though. I love that it's real. You're not gonna see, the thing with this podcast that we're doing is that it's not like we're sitting here trying to push some agenda that pushes you towards the duopoly way of thinking. We're trying to challenge the narrative. Last night, if you go into the last video that we put out there, for if you're new here, or if you're a Trump supporter and you're new here, the comments did exactly what we predicted they would do. And you would think, as a Trump supporter, you would be disappointed. Like, listen, we hear you. Like, I hear you loud and clear. Trump is the greatest president of my lifetime, and he could bang all the hookers in Maine, and I wouldn't care. He's still the greatest economy. And, now I hope you'll draw the line at child sex trafficking. I don't want to have that conversation with one of my drunk uncles going, well, maybe it was just a few kids, and maybe Ghislaine Maxwell was recording him, and who cares? Like, we still have a great economy. Like, that's where I hope your brains don't divulge to as these signs of the mental gymnastics you constantly do. And we witness to it. So, is he a racist? I don't give a shit, honestly, about the conversation. And I know there's going to be people like, tuning out. It's all about racism here on my brain. And it's not necessarily the racism part. It's just, that's just like when you make a breakfast scramble, you don't have, just eggs. That'd just be scrambled eggs. When you make a breakfast scramble, you get your sausage, your bacon, your ham, your hash browns, your gravy, your taters, maybe some peppers, or maybe you took some steak instead and had steak and egg scramble. There's more ingredients to it, each with their own flavor and context and substance. And so the narrow-mindedness of a Trump supporter in 2020 is the dream manifested for the two-party duopoly. They are the same team, no matter what you have to say about red team, blue team, CJ. It's two teams. No, it's the same fucking league. The same goddamn corporate sponsors. The same fucking people that are putting bags of money in front of politicians saying, hey, we need this next law next session. We're gonna use our millions to give to your opponent. And by the way, we heard about that domestic dispute you had a few years ago. So stand by for that to be blasted all over the socials. And you see this shit, and it's a result of ignorant, moronic, duopoly thinking sheep. This side's just a bunch of racist assholes that are, yeah. This side's a bunch of wants my grandma to die, put on a mask, snowflakes. Like, it's, you guys are fucking stupid. And it translates into the comments as the dumbest, unintellectual garbage that could come from what you call an adult brain that can freely think for itself. The comments proved it last night. Proved it beyond a reasonable doubt. And Adam, I like what Jim said with it yesterday. And I don't mean to make this a rant all along about, the Trump clip yesterday. But it really is just a dichotomy and a perspective look into the mind of a Trump supporter when challenged. They like the fact they're like, well, yeah, Biden sniffs kids. And we're like, yeah, Biden's a fucking pedophile. Yeah, I agree with this. Now I'm going to subscribe and bell and share and like, and I might even give you $1. But then you go, whoa, wait a minute. What about all these videos and pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell, known child sex trafficker, procuring young girls for billionaires? Well, there's no proof, CJ. At least we got Biden sniffing kids. Like, again, pervy, fucking pedophile. We'll never take that from you. But my point still being is just because one was a little bit more secretive than the other. One tried to cover their trail a little bit better than the other. That's what makes you sleep better at night? I know full well what happened. I don't fucking lose sleep over it at all. I come to peace with it. I don't have to do the mental gymnastics that you have to do. Therefore, I can get rest. I'm not constantly working my brain figuring out, if I piss off Daddy Trump and I don't suck his dick deep enough, guess what? I'm going to be out of the circle. And if I'm out of the circle, That means that they're going to call me a snowflake and I won't be able to show up next rally. And oh my God. And it's a constant progression. You know, listen, I liked the Seahawks for years. I have a Seahawks tattoo on my body. I get loyalty, the concept of feeling and belonging and having adulation in group moments in history. I get that. But that is all a part of condition and programming. That's all a part of the intention to push you into a way of thinking that says it's one-on-one. There's no third option. Football's not played with 3 teams. Basketball's not played with 3 teams. You know, baseball, not played with 3 teams. There's more choices out there than 2 sexual predators in their 70s. Whether or not you agree with my third option is not even my main point at this point. I picked my third option. There's other parties out there. There's the Constitution Party, which out here in South Dakota, it was dissolved in 2018. And then people are bringing it back, but they have to go through a long laundry list of ballot petitioning and signature gathering. But, you know, again, the Libertarian Party, I started with the platform before I started with who the fuck's in this party? Do I even agree with what they're fundamentally pushing? You know, and it's unfortunate that, you know, there's a lot of people on my friends list that are status Trumpophiles. Honestly, I have many of them. In fact, I would love to watch like Michael and Steve go to one of their fucking rallies and you know, and give them hell. I can't wait to interview them. I've been watching their videos going back like a stalker, man. Just great comedy. They can call me a statist, tell me they want to take a shit on my chest. It wouldn't bother me. I'd be out in public and being like, dude, you guys are awesome. I'd fanboy right in front of them. But, you know, these Trump supporters, they get rah, 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 rah. And that's what I'm trying to get at. You know, I like I said, this is one of the blessings and the curse of having a humble platform is that I'm not popular. I'm not going to sway public opinion on one video. My beliefs don't just go on the air in the morning and the world changes after I hit end. You know? And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. But I'll still put my opinion out there the same, and it'll offend you after the fact. But you're not hearing what I'm saying. You're in defense mode. You're not hearing what I'm arguing and why I'm arguing it. You're not giving empathy. I give you empathy all the time, Trumpophiles. You know, pedocrats. I give you that. I give you, like, okay, let me be empathetic to why they feel the way they feel. And try to understand where they're coming from. And every time I go back to, you're just waiting for an attaboy from a president that does not give a fuck about you. If you question him at all, you will fall from the grace of the social circles that you roll in. You will not be invited to the party. You will be criticized, ostracized, shunned in your community if you live in a red area. It just blows my mind, man. It really does. I would love to think that, you know, I don't call myself the smartest guy in the world, but I can put 2 and 2 together and make 4. You know, I would like to think that at some point the adults in this country are going to say, yeah, we reject this. We reject, like, and not care what the whiny little bitching, crying duopoly statist cocksuckers who are, you know, people, oh, Trump, I'd suck your dick for a Jolly Rancher, and Joe Biden, I'd let you sniff my kids. Not putting all that aside, you would think that at some point the adults would just go, no, no, we've got better people in this country of ours, over 300 plus million people, and these two pedophile sexual predators are the best this country can have to offer. And the people that call themselves journalists don't give you this all day long, because if it came out, like if all the truth actually did come out on mainstream media, the agenda they're trying to, silence, if it all came out, how many of you would burn your Trump flags? How many of you would burn your Trump hats? What you're doing is you're doing a Dan Bongino. You're taking a position in history that you're hoping is going to pay off. It's a gamble. Because if a video of Trump came out having sex with a minor because Ghislaine Maxwell recorded it, came out tomorrow, I'd love to hear the Dan Bonginos of this world try to defend it. Because I know if it ever came out that Joe Jorgensen had done that, it's a no-brainer to take this fucking hat off, burn it, and condemn her for the rest of history. And then maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't even want to show my face if I did that, if I couldn't redeem myself. At least for my own mental being. Or I guess my mental well-being. Like I said, I'm not the world's most intelligent guy. I've never claimed to be. I know there's people smarter than me out there. But why do we keep doing this? It makes no sense. Is it a political agenda? I mean, at some point you have to fucking draw a line and go, hey, I can't go to your social circle and be like, yeah, did you hear what Biden's dumb shit he said today? Oh, Nancy Pelosi. I can't do it. If any of these people came to my door, I'd fucking shoot them. They're not here to help me. They're not here to make my life better. My life hasn't progressively gotten better. And I had to say this about Obama, too. At the end of 8 years of Obama, they were like, the Republicans were like, are you better off now than you were 8 years ago? And it was my life where it got better or where it got worse was a direct response of the consequences of the decisions I made. Not because there was a certain fucking asshole sitting in the fucking White House. You don't think that the red team isn't going, well, Obama ordered hot dogs for a hotel party with, what does this language mean? And the cute kiddos. You don't tell me Team Red doesn't just sit there and go, oh, the Team Blue's a bunch of pedophiles, when Team Blue's like, yeah, so are you guys. And we will fucking dead man switch all this through our media if you all don't play along at some point. Let's just keep calling each other names back and forth in campaign ads, and then be cordial to each other behind the scenes. And be, I mean, it's politics. And it's disgusting. And it's what these two parties have created. You know why I like the Libertarian Party? Because no libertarian has ever had the opportunity to fuck this country up. I look at it like this. The Trump numbers are dwindling, lower than a pedophile's. And I say that by Joe Biden, of course. Biden's on the rise, and which this makes me go even like, oh my God, how can you watch him sniff kids and I still see you posting on your fucking Facebook, Biden's gonna win? How? It shouldn't even be this way. At some point, can we say sniffing kids and getting involved with child sex traffickers is like you're not qualified to be fucking president? Well, CJ, he might be a child predator, but have you seen his economic and foreign policies? You're a fucking idiot. You're what we call a pro-pedophile. It isn't even like grabbing the racist rail and running with it anymore. It's like, wait a minute. Whoa! At some point, he's just not fucking qualified as a human being. You know what it is? People have an invested interest in him being successful for their careers, for their way of living, the thing that puts money in their wallet because they've sold out their principles for the almighty dollar, which is a fiat currency which has no value, which Trump keeps deflating to tunes of trillions of dollars as the coronavirus continues to spread across the country. Be afraid, put on your mask, and shut the fuck up, slave. And if you speak out, we'll deal with you. If you won't put on your mask, we'll deal with you. I like taking guns first and then going to court to get the due process. Ghislaine Maxwell, I wish her well, frankly. At some point, you will wake up and realize that you have been fucking fooled. At some point, you're going to wake up and you're going to go, holy fucking balls. I was stupid. I don't have this problem anymore, at least. I've repented for my Trump sins. I have repented for my Obama sins. I've just, I've told everybody, I view voting for president like it's just picking a racehorse at a casino. I don't think my one vote shapes history. I'm not loyal to the fucking name on the ticket. I don't go and say, man, that horse, man, I'm going to follow it. I'm going to tweet about it. I'm going to let it just dictate the laws I follow in my life. And if I ever not consent, I'm going to make it so they can throw me in a cage. That's the fucking choice people. Well, it's, to live in a civilized society, TJ. Oh, God. It never ends. It truly never ends. It's like going through and realizing that this world is fucked. And you're just waiting for the asteroid to hit. You're waiting for the TV man to tell you, hey, the world will be a better place. There's always tomorrow, I'll love you tomorrow. It's only a day away. Maybe tomorrow we won't have pedophiles for presidents. Maybe tomorrow we'll wake up and we'll have common sense. Maybe tomorrow we'll stop treating each other like we're the enemy and go, you know what? Hey, police officer that's beating me and pepper spraying me, you're just as much a victim of this government as I am. You're here in the same geographical time and space as I am. You fundamentally believe that you have the right because somebody told you to shoot me and beat me and possibly kill me. That you have the moral superior high ground because a bunch of government cocksucking go thin blue liners are going to sit there and go, we support our government, and if you know what, if they put you all in boxcars and send you off to concentration camps, I'd donate to that cause tomorrow. And of course, you just cheer it on. Could you imagine if Nazi Germany, and I know these are all like third rails. Could you imagine if Nazi Germany had cell phones? Could you really? Could you picture what that might have looked like in live time as people are like setting up their cameras outside of windows and being like, watch them mass execute this whole family over here because they're Jewish. Look at the SS Go keeping our neighborhood safe. Oh my God. What a great organization. In fact, you know what? When they increase my taxes to 64%, I'm going to be happy because I know it's going to the government that I support. That's what these statists sound like. That's what these people sound like when they're like, oh, God. Stand for my magic sky clock, damn it, CJ. Sing my special song, CJ. Ugh. For the ramparts we were. No. You will never see me stand for the national anthem or respect your fucking flag. You have your flag. I have my flag. I promise you, I fly my flag higher than you fly your flag. And again, I respect your right to fly your flag. It helps me identify you. As a Marine Corps veteran, I kind of like the idea of being able to identify people from rank to their whole fucking nation or cause that they support. I love it. I love the concept of flags and ideas like this that identify. Like I said yesterday, you can fly the Jolly Roger and still be a butt pirate and have a other pirate go, he's not a real pirate, but I'm a butt pirate. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what your opinions are about flags. Are you peaceful? Do you follow the non-aggression principle? Are you willing to sit down and discuss with people issues you fundamentally fucking disagree with? Not, and if you don't even know, like, what did you just say, CJ? It's just way above my head. What I'm telling you, non-aggression principle. I don't use force to, especially force of government, to control or dictate you. I don't give a fuck if you vote for Trump or Biden. Actually, I kind of do, because they're both a signal of we will use force against you if you don't live by our rules. Why isn't there a third option that says, hey, you know what? I'm a peaceful, independent, sovereign person. And then, CJ said sovereign! He's a sovereign citizen! Meltdown! Hour-long discussion about how they're domestic terrorists and sovereign citizens is an oxymoron! My brain can't handle it! Go back to voting for the kid sniffer! Oh, L'Oreal number 5 for kids. That's what you motherfuckers are like dealing with on the internet. Instead of being like, fuck, man, I'm a free person. Like, listen, I have to capitulate. I carry a driver's license. I have a valid concealed carry permit, even though I don't need one. I carry a VA identification card. I carry my medical insurance. I carry all the things a citizen carries because I have to live by the rules. I register my vehicle. I'm subject to the same fines, fees, penalties, and pains that you are. We all wear the same fucking chains just because I like to believe in my mind. Oh shit, man, we're free. You're free if you can really achieve it. And I'll give it to some people. They can live certain ways that'll give them that semblance of freedom. But I remind every one of us, same spinning ball in space, same country. If they wanted to comb it, they can find anyone. It doesn't take long. You can live off grid. I promise you. They can find you too. They can find you just as easy as they can find the next person. So, I don't know. This is what happens on a slow news day. A slow fucking news day. Make no mistake about it. I just looked at the headlines and was like, nope, fucking not. I mean, we had a great headline day the other day where we were able to dive in and actually get some conversation out of some topics here. But no. This is where it even starts. You're just like, what the fuck? Charlemagne, like, I don't care. Charlemagne don't care about me. Why do I care about Charlemagne? Person, woman, camera, TV. Trump describes difficulty of recent cognitive test. Battle for Joe Biden. None of this saying Joe Jorgensen, of course, because, you know, they're afraid to talk to a woman who might go, hey, women have told me you sexually assaulted them, and I'm going to bring them to the debates, much like you did to each other. I'm going to bring your accusers, all 27 of them, Trump, to a debate and fill a how far do they need to sit? 6 feet? So you take 27 accusers. Okay, work the math here with me. 27 Trump accusers, and you take 6 feet apart. So how big does the square have to be? You know what? Maybe we'll make that the contest for today. In the comment section, you have to socially distance 27 sexually assaulting accusers. How much of a space in an auditorium do they take? And if you win, I'll just declare you the most awesome person on the internet today, because you'll be doing math I don't want to do. Point being, well, I guess you could break this down pretty easily. A 7, well, I'll let you guys do the math. You go 3 by 9. You could break that down even more and have some at the back end. How much space do you need to socially distance 27 sexual assault accusers for Donald J. Trump? I'll wait. I got at least another 19 minutes before I'm going to end this. So, but again, and you would rather dismiss me. This is a funny thing that I always think. Shit, that man's saying all the mean things about our dictator. No, shut off. Oh, look, the opinion doesn't exist anymore. I'll just peacefully sit here and jerk off to Trump porn. Yeah, Trump, talk about how you like to take guns first and then go to court to get that due process. Talk about it. Take it. Wish Ghislaine Maxwell right. Ghislaine Maxwell. Say her name. Say her name. It's like, again, that joke might have dipped into the gray there a bit. maybe just a little bit. I'm sure I'll hear from it from somebody someday. Like, CJ, that one joke about BLM and masturbating to Trump's dumb shit that he says, that might have been a tad too far. Anyways, again, you just scroll through. You scroll through like I do, and where's which pick your narrative? What makes you feel good? Do you want misleading video discrediting Fauci? Do you want, as U.S. and China force consulates to close, the risk of missteps and spiraling tensions rise? Like, oh man, let's just go to war with China on top of this, huh? Because that's what we need. Hey, another question to all you anti-vax moms that are pro-Trump, because Trump's gonna not be pro-vaccine and he's gonna question the vaccine narrative. You all were there in 2015. I remember you. There are groups still in. You know what? We should look into that. You know what? I'm going to write a note for Monday. Do a little research over the weekend. Because they were called anti-vaxxers for Trump. And I'm going to look into that. We're going to dive into the anti-vax mom that still supports Trump when he's like, we're going to pump out vaccine after vaccine at the cyclic rate. We're going to have it required for every man, woman, and child in this country. And Dr. Fauci says you can't leave your home without your papers. Where are you anti-vaxxing moms? And this is where I go, hey, your descent to realizing that you got fucked by the orange messiah is a understandable realization to come to in your adult life. Congratulations. I feel like you deserve a participation trophy. I feel like if I could give everybody a trophy for realizing that they don't have to vote for this shit anymore, I could welcome you with open arms and say, hey, you don't even have to vote for Joe. Just don't vote for this fucking garbage anymore. Show some goddamn sign of intelligence in your life and go, you know what? Maybe just maybe I don't need to do the mental gymnastics. My thing isn't, I don't got to go, Joe isn't Trump or Biden. I can go, Joe Jorgensen is better just as a human fucking being than either of those two. Combined every day of the week with more grace and eloquence and actual solutions to real fucking problems. Not somebody that's just going to push it off and cause world fucking conflicts. And I mean, they're doing this on purpose. What the fuck is wrong with you? I keep going like, okay, CJ, it's not you. It's definitely the idiots on the other side of the fucking camera. Well, not you watching. It's that you get the narrative. I see all the Trumpophiles and pedocrats going out there and doing all the slave fucking. You know, in the Civil War, there were slaves that fought for their slave owners. Make no mistake about it. If you're sucking Trump's dick today because it's the cool thing to do for your social circle, just know there were slaves that did the same fucking thing for their slave owners. For sure. They got down on all fours and they were the bitch. They were the bitch. Do you really want to be that? Really? Really? Because that's what it's going to be known in history. 500 years from now, they're not going to look back at the population and go, oh, man, they were so great for picking Trump over Biden. They're going to be like, why the fuck did they keep putting sexual predators in the White House? It makes no sense to me. It never will make any sense to me. I don't understand it, and I never will. Ah, all right. Well, Nicholas, you're backstage. Did you want to join? If you did, let me know. Go ahead and give me that heads up there. And otherwise, I mean, you're watching backstage, I guess. I don't really care. I mean, up to you, man. All right. Well, everybody, Mr. Nicholas Berryhill. Hello, sir. How are you today?
Good. How you doing, CJ?
Busting my ass, working the grind, doing my thing, trying not to lose my mind. How you doing?
Good. I was driving to the McDonald's to get some breakfast. I was listening to you earlier. Good way to start my day.
I'm sorry, Nick. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's cool. You're spot on with your invitations. That's how I do. My girlfriend, she goes crazy. I was like, you got to vote for my red team because we're going to lose our country if you don't vote Republican. It's just a bunch of crap, man. So you're spot on with your impersonations there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's how I imagine it. Like I imagine a Democrat being like, it's okay to sniff kids. Yeah. It's okay to sniff kids. Just vote for Biden. It's okay. And, I'm sure all of this shit would be taken out of context for me. That's just why you got to do these voices. You have to give them the impression that you're making an impression and it's not your actual belief.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what do you think, honestly? I mean, do you really think that we're living in a time where the cognitive dissonance of the majority of the population, it's not even the majority really. It's like less than the majority of people vote in this country and even less control the political ruling power. It's almost like the minority is the people that run the government.
Yeah, and like you're right, there's a huge cognitive dissonance there because, if you think of what Trump's been doing, pushing through the stimulus and policies with the Federal Reserve, that's nothing but socialism. And yet all these Republicans are freaking happy with it. It's okay when Trump does it because he's got to save the economy.
But Nick,
if Obama was in there doing that shit, they would be raising hell.
Of course, and the hypocrisies are left and right. Now, Nick, let me ask you this. This is my disconnect, and this is the one puzzle piece I can't seem to find. What actually breaks a Trumpophile or a pedocrat? What actually gets them to listen to a conversation like this and go, I'm not offended. I'm actually listening. And then I'm not just looking at the guys on the screen and going, judgment, judgment, judgment. I'm actually listening to the context of the message. What is that gap to get to people to say in the nicest possible way to think for yourself? I mean, to not be this way. I don't know what that puzzle piece is.
I think it's going to take for people getting hurt, like for them, like experiencing something that hurts them, like personally, like either economically. Because, like, for example, I got a friend, he's like a huge Trump guy, right? And he refuses to wear the mask, anything like that. He's like, I'm not wearing face diapers. Well, friggin' Trump comes out, is wearing his face mask, then we should wear a face mask. And I'm like, what do you think about Daddy Trump switching up on that, Well, he's just doing what he's got to do. But it's going to take something like people are going to have to get hurt, like personally, to wake up and realize that, like, this is all just a big scam.
Well, let me ask you this. Who hasn't been affected by the coronavirus at this point?
I know everybody has.
Like, and Adam,
forced unemployment.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's a forced unemployment crisis, housing crisis, and they're just using pandemic as distraction. Look over there. Don't pay no mind to the things going on over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Nick, I appreciate you coming on this morning, giving us your thoughts. Yeah, I mean, you're always welcome on. You got anything you want to tell everybody before? I mean, I'm going to give you, like I said, the whole screen. Tell the world what you got to say.
Well, I was going to try to turn this around so you could see my new Joe Jorgensen yard sign.
Oh, dang. Look at that.
Right here in Charlotte, North Carolina on a prime real estate corner. See it from three directions, but everybody just get out there and support your local libertarian candidates. If you're in South Dakota, help CJ with his campaign. Donate to the Jorgensen campaign. Do what you can to get people involved and bring them on board, and hopefully we can try to wake some people up and convert the masses.
All right. Well, Nick, thanks for joining the broadcast this morning, sir. We'll see you again next time. I'll see you on Adam versus the Man. I'm sure there, too.
We'll be there.
All right, man. We'll see you there. All right. Mr. Barry Hill, everybody. Mercedes, you're asking me as soon as my coffee is done, I'm invading your talk show to talk about the parallels and the Jews and the Holocaust. How many people can even put on here, because that would be lit. I can host 9 people, 10 including myself. So it would be lit. Like I said, my audience could decide at 1 minute that we are the show. That's how humble my little platform is, and I'm grateful for it. But I do have to open up the Digital Studio of Freedom at some point here in the next, hour or so, 50 minutes. I try to get it at minimum by 10:30, so that way I can work through any technical issues and make sure the guests are taken care of if we have them for the day. I do a lot. I do a lot for the show, and I absolutely love it. It gives me something to do, and I mean, like most of you that follow Adam Kokesh for Adam versus the Man, you can go from being in the comments to a guest on the show pretty easily. It's not a hard process if you really wanted to figure it out. So when the comments come in last night from the Trumpophiles, I guess I can go back to that for a little bit. It's open into the psyche of what people actually will do in that instance of a challenging narrative. Our message ended with grow up, be an adult. That's not to say that I haven't trolled, I guess. I love a good troll. I mean, like I said, I'll be interviewing Michael, and I gave the invite to Steve too. I don't know if Steve's still watching or if he's off planning a epic troll, like he did yesterday. I mean, I just hope that they're safe. I mean, because there's a lot of fucking people out there that will get triggered, and they do a fine job at documenting the threats, and I what I really love about what they're doing and why I'm so excited to interview them next week, or at least Michael next week. Again, Steve, if you're watching this, please, I'll send you the link as well. You know, a public disclosure, I actually thought that he was a Trump supporter. The first video I saw, we dissected it here on my broadcast. And I'm like, who's this fucking idiot right here? Like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? What a fucking moron. and then I was like, ah, shit, he's in on it. Fuck. Oh damn it. And then you watch a video of him saying, like, well, if people say that I'm in, and you're just like, I fell for it. So, I mean, Steve, if you're watching, I love what you do. You can call me a statist. I'm not, I assure you. But yeah. Oh, I don't even know what to do at this point. I guess we're just waiting on this woman from Nebraska. Let's see here. You may even get put on the spot to close a show. Exactly, Matt. Like, we had a patrons only broadcast, and I dropped the ball in the end. Adam dropped the ball in the end, and just like, hey, Matt, you know, you want to close this off for today? I mean, but that's the spontaneity of it. That's what makes it unique. We're not here to be a perfect, picture perfect two-part. See, you got to expand your way of thinking. That's not in I need it the way the mainstream delivers it to my brain noodle. I need it like that. You need it in the long-term investment of your education, your mental health, and your well-being. And you have to let people be people and fallible and make mistakes and own up to them and give redemption. I mean, even if it is in the small things like, hey man, I thought you were this way and my thinking was wrong. I apologize. Little actions. I mean, please and thank you. I'm sorry. You know, forgive me for my transgression. Little words that can go a long way in a conversation if you believe that you or if you believe you owe them. So, all right. I swear to God, my next guest is from the great state of Nebraska. She is running for Nebraska State Senate, ladies and gentlemen. Mercedes, how are you doing today?
Well, I went out with my Boog boys last night, so...
Oh, did you guys start the Boogaloo?
No, we did not start the Boogaloo. It was a deep compression session.
Okay.
That's what it was. So, my friends... I'm getting feedback again.
You're getting feedback from me?
Yes.
Why are you getting feedback from me?
I don't know. I do this every time I come on your show, don't I?
I think you have audio processing on.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, if you go to audio and say disable audio processing, does that help?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, well, it's in the bottom. There's a little thing that says cam mic.
What? Audio?
It's most likely on your end.
Disable video audio processing. Hey.
Does that work?
A little bit. It's fine. I don't care anymore. So.
There's an echo on the broadcasting end.
Okay, there we go. See, it's not me.
Okay. Well, then I will try to solve this problem while I mute myself. Go ahead, Mercedes.
Well, then I'll tell my story then. So last night, I get a phone call because in Nebraska, in our own Libertarian Party, we are very lucky because I'm the left Libertarian and I'm in Nebraska and I'm not as left as I thought I was, but apparently I am. That being the case, that means that I get to play with all of my CNN boys, all of my true Americans, veterans who see what's going on. No, but they are, though, because we were talking. They're libertarians. And the first time I met Mr. Roberts, Captain Roberts, because he's the captain of the Nebraska militia, he was at our protest, just patrolling, and his everything. He had everything on. I'm like, why are you here? Let's talk, because... You know, in the wild, I spotted them. And so they said, yeah, you know, we see what's going on, and we heard that there were some buses coming in, so they fell for the bus hoax. And in Kearney, like, because buses are gonna come to Kearney, okay? So they came out because they wanted to be safe and protect the protesters and the Black Lives Matter protesters. So they came out and they played with us. Well, now, since we have created this beautiful bond of unity between the left and the right libertarians in our fair city, we get to go out and have drinks and play pool and talk about how corrupt our government is, just like I do with you every morning when I get on. And it's IRL, libertarian right and left joining together at the bar.
All right, Mercedes, can you hear an echo now?
No.
Does the audience hear an echo? I guess we have to wait. I put in my Bluetooth headphones. I do hear your husband has the same problem I had with his mic, and that is a USB mic. I can hear that, the feedback from the ground loop there. But that's nothing you can fix, Mercedes. I assure you it won't be happening this broadcast.
Fudge.
Again, if you could let me just know in the comments here if you're still hearing an echo. I'd appreciate it. Till then, I'm just going to try to save their ears. But go ahead, again, about the Book Boys, though.
Yeah, so we met, so that's like our backstory. They showed up at a protest to like back us up, essentially, because they were afraid that the Trump boys were going to come out because we have a Proud Boy problem in our state. We have a Proud Boy problem in our state. We have a Proud Boy problem in our...
sounds like I fixed this. So, okay, so Proud Boys.
Do you know what a Proud Boy is?
Yeah, the Trumpophiles on steroids.
Okay, so our governor is a Proud Boy.
Yeah.
So
Trumpophiles on steroids.
Yes, so we are home of the Proud Boys, and that's what they were. That's what they were afraid of. Well, my protests, like I've said before, have shaken the nest. I have poked at the hornets, and they are mad. They are big mad. So this week, my campaign manager was down in Holdridge, which is a small town south of us, county over. County over too? Yeah, county over. And so there's a little backstory here too. So in Holdridge, last election cycle, they had a man run for mayor, who ended up splitting, running from the cops. Maybe I can find that news article while I talk about this. So he's running for mayor. Turns out he's like kingpin drug.
Yeah, I'll let you produce your own thoughts. So go ahead and just click share when you're ready.
Yeah, I will. So this guy is trying to run for mayor. And then it turns out that he is not a very good person. Not because of what he's doing, but because of how he's doing it. Because if we had decriminalized drugs and not so staunch drug laws, then he wouldn't have been able to do what he was doing. So
here in my town, you can be the former cocaine and cannabis dealer and turn out to become the state's attorney. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for a drug dealer out here in Meth Dakota.
And same here, because, you know, meth is what we're on, too. It's just not for everybody.
Oh, no, Meth Dakota. It's not Meth Nebraska.
Maybe it's this guy. Either way. So there's this guy in Holdridge, and he's running for mayor. Turns out he's done a lot of bad shit. Takes off, runs. Is in jail. Might have gone to jail. Not sure. But there are other people in that area. Like, my friend's still missing. Like, she disappeared. There's a missing persons out for her from this area. And so I'm there. I'm trying to gather petition signatures for medical marijuana ballot access. And the people of this community are scared shitless of their law enforcement. And this is a town of like 4,000 people, maybe. So their police is super angry and aggressive and has them all buffaloed into not doing anything. Mind you, they've had murders before the pandemic started in this community over drugs because of the drug problems, because of the government, because of how they do things. So my campaign manager's down there for court. This is a family law thing. You're going to enjoy this, not enjoy it. That's weird. That just started playing on its own.
That's what happens when you're a parent.
It's She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain, though. It's my favorite song. So
No, I thought it was Tickle, Tickle, Tickle.
No, it's Coming Around the Mountain when she comes. So, my campaign manager's down there because he has to go to court because his ex-girlfriend was super abusive and just kicked the shit out of him, mentally abusive, got pregnant on purpose. They were engaged. She wanted to get pregnant. He didn't. She got pregnant and then called the cops on him and got him arrested and has a protection order on him and just had the kid, but he's not allowed to see the kid. So instead of seeing the kid, he had to, go to court because she's taunting him over that you're a piece of shit. You're never going to see your kid.
Oh, I know all too well the words of a woman that have said those words.
Exactly. So family law right here.
Yeah.
He didn't know the Libertarian Party had a family law sec either. So I got to tell him that.
We're there. You can find victims of family law for Joe Jorgensen on the interweb.
Well, and he didn't know that, though. So last night he came out to hang out with the boys and us because he was in Holdridge and for court over violating his protection order, that because his friend talked to his ex and they said that it was, violation of protection order because his friend talked to his ex,
Third party contact, yeah.
And he's like, I don't understand. I said, well, if he would have just talked to her mom, it would have been one thing, but he reached out to her too. So technically they got you, even though you didn't ask him to.
This is where I fundamentally disagree with the civil court. It violates all methods of due process.
Yeah. So he's there for that. And there is 2 men who were in jail for rape. And I shared this live video. I'm not going to be able to pull it up on this broadcast because I'm not on my computer. And, well, maybe I can actually. Let's go do some research quick. Just move this over.
I love live research.
I know. Isn't it just the best?
It's a Friday, Mercedes. It's a
slow news day, but not slow enough because this
is
just local
how many
news.
headlines did you see me do today?
The Jews one, which we're gonna get to because this kind of wraps into this. Yeah, it only gets worse.
I took your statements out of context and it sounded funny as shit.
Yeah, but it's funny.
I'm gonna invade your podcast and we're gonna talk about the Jews.
I'm gonna invade your podcast. We're gonna talk about the Jews. We're getting there. So my daughter's having a meltdown upstairs with her dad, and I'm not sorry. She's gonna be 2 next month.
Welcome to the parenthood of terrible twos.
And she's a redhead, as people have seen. So he's protesting now because there's 2 gentlemen in Holdridge that have gotten off from rape, and they're only serving like a few months' time. They're not registered sex offenders because they have money. And so, is this it? Okay, so I'm going to drag this back over. No, I don't have to. I can just screen share.
Okay. Yep.
So
let me know when it's there.
It's there.
Click share, though. No, you gotta click share.
I know. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so this video, I'm gonna fast forward a little. Well, I'll start here, and then it gets good about.
Did you share audio?
Yes, I did. Wait, maybe. Can you hear anything?
Nope. You gotta take it down and redo it and click share audio.
How do I do that? Stop sharing. Anyway, fine. So he
You can just reshare, click audio.
I know, I got it. I'm multitasking. It's Friday, you said.
It is a Friday.
Will hear themselves. Okay, cool. So he's out, and I'll just start at the beginning because I think he.
You want to make it full screen?
I mean, yes.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay. So he's protesting right now in Holdridge because this guy got off on rape. And so it says his name and stuff. And so somebody called the cops and said, that's taunting. You can't have his name on your sign. He lives in the neighborhood.
Out here in Holdridge, Nebraska,
Here we go.
with my sign, put Preston the rapist behind bars. want to come join me, you're more than welcome to come join me. I'll be out here for a little bit, for a while.
Now, at this point, he's literally only been there a couple minutes, and I think I need to... Yeah, that's the 2-minute one. So, it's this one is where he has police interaction because somebody called the cops on
I'll be posting
him.
on my Facebook too, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So I'm here. I'm here in Holdridge, Nebraska, and for whatever reason, Preston Melroy, the rapist, has not been put in behind bars. I mean, he has 2 rape allegations behind him, and all the court could do was give him just the tiniest slap on the wrist for one of them. Oh my gosh! It kind of goes to show how easy it is to be able to pay off the law system if you got that kind of money. So I'm out here and I'm protesting. Put Preston, the rapist, behind bars, right? And for whatever reason, people are getting pissed off about that. Why? I don't know. They should get pissed off, but they're getting pissed off about the wrong reasons. They're getting mad at me for demanding that this kind of fuckery is not going to be tolerated at all. Like, it baffles me. How could you come to the defense of Preston for raping women? Like, it just baffles me. It baffles me. But yes, I am still out here. I am still out here. I'm gonna be out here for a while. I don't got anything to do until 5, and I'll probably stay out here a little bit after 5.
So I'm gonna fast forward.
Or anyone that makes any
some reason I don't hear
and
but I heard it on the
Hold on.
Oh,
but yeah, he got the sentence that he's like you're so to be mad at me for isn't going on longer.
I'm
Come
trying
join,
to find when the
come
cop
say
comes
hi.
up.
I don't really care. That car right there, its gas tank is open. But yeah, you're more than welcome to come by and say hi. It baffles me. It's crazy. It's just the kind of things you can get away with of money. Logical reason. I'll
Where is
it's not a BLM. One of these.
So the cop
Okay, cool. St. Vincent. That's badass.
shows
Let's
up.
go. Because of the money and a family's well known.
Okay, so
It's great.
this is when the cop shows up.
Well, I am on public property. My name is Jason Bennett. There's an officer right here, so we'll see how this goes. How's it going, sir? Am I doing anything wrong?
yeah, okay.
I guess that depends. Somebody called. My assumption is he's going to jail.
Okay, that's your assumption. He's going to jail. Okay.
I'm hearing he's going to
Okay, cool.
jail or prison for a few months.
For a few months. Right.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now, if he's a registered sex offender, just to let you know,
Right.
it's illegal to taunt sex offenders such as this.
Am I taunting or am I exercising my First Amendment right?
Well, I don't know. When we have people who are sex offenders, people cannot go around their neighborhood.
Am I anywhere near his neighborhood?
I'm just saying I will have to look at this because
Okay.
this could be considered maybe. Now I don't know if he's registered yet or not.
Okay.
I'm going to have to look into
Mind
that.
you.
Absolutely. Has he been convicted of anything yet?
Well, yes, my assumption. I heard on the radio.
Mind you, he is talking to a police officer of the Holdridge Police Department about this.
Yeah, no, and that's an interesting statement the officer's making. Do you happen to have I mean, he's not registered.
No, he's not registered. This is Jason. Jason looked it up. He's not registered. He's
right.
not.
No, and okay, so I mean, obviously these type of allegations are horrific. Obviously, and there was a conviction, and the victim was how old?
I believe 18. I believe we can get to that because the defendants father shows up to talk to him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to do a report.
Okay. And do I
So
have to give
on
you my name?
Well, I guess you don't.
Okay.
But if we
Well, I
want to
won't.
try to cooperate with each other, I haven't
Okay.
done anything.
Now,
to
a
you.
little
no, you
back
haven't done
history. From what I have gathered of this incident, the police officer talking to my campaign manager right now is a gentleman who got on his bike and came to talk to me when I was gathering petition signatures. That angry bike guy,
Yeah.
that
okay.
angry bike guy is this cop.
Wow.
I don't know. So we're gonna just
So the thought then, Mercedes, is okay. So, you know, again, the court didn't label him a sex offender.
didn't, and I talked to him about this. I'm like, you got to be careful with your signs. You got what you wanted, but there's a fine line with the laws that they have written that protect people because they are innocent until proven guilty. Now, there
You mean
it goes.
due process? Whoa.
Due process, yes, due process.
Yeah, I was gonna
Now,
say before
in
you,
this-
before you just go, there's some certain laws out
Yeah,
there. I mean, we
certain
are-
laws, due process, your
Yeah, you know-
constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna skip kind of to the end to see if I can catch. Okay,
Yeah, go-
so this is what we're talking about. So it turns out that this one of the girls, which I believe Jason knows, they lay it out. The situation, basically, we have a rape apologist situation going on.
Okay.
Okay.
Can
You know what happened with the second allegation?
Absolutely. It's just it,
No,
it,
you don't
it,
know.
it, it
Okay.
baffles.
Okay, so the dad is talking now.
It baffles.
Would you like to
it-
hear
it-
about that?
Yeah,
Would
go
you like
ahead.
to have
Yeah,
information
you
about
can
that?
give your side. Go
That
ahead.
was his girlfriend,
Okay.
and they were engaged in petting. And he touched her on the boob. Okay? She said stop. He stopped. That was it. Later on that night, they were together again. And he asked her to be his girlfriend. She said yes. That next day, she went to visit him in jail. Did you know any of this?
No, I did not.
But that doesn't change anything.
No, it doesn't change anything. So,
you-
what point
okay.
are you trying to get at?
Then
What point are
I'm
you trying to
saying
get at?
that this girl's mom, the one that's claiming rape, coerced the second girl into it. Did you know the
Oh,
second-
are you able to prove that? You proved that?
Well,
that it was
I will tell
coercion?
you this. That girl was at a party and told,
So just because you're at a party that gives consent?
if you shut your mouth for 5 minutes, the girl was at a party and she said that she was getting pressured by the state prosecutor that if she dropped her case against her now, against Preston now, that it would make the first case look terrible. And like it didn't happen. Because that the girl in the first one changed her story every time she was deposed. Every time she was deposed,
Okay.
her story changed. Every time.
So real quick, I mean, again, so this is why these types of cases are always baffling to me. Was he convicted by a jury or a civil court?
Civil court. They kept
Okay,
it civil. They kept it quiet.
Oh, and this is why he is not registered as a sex offender.
Yep.
This
And
is why this ain't. But let me just clarify this before I sound and people be like, take me out of context and think I'm a
Yeah.
rape apologist.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying is that what we have right now in America are two different types of court systems. We have a civil court and we have a criminal court. And a lot of times, and this is where I fundamentally disagree and want to abolish this process of the civil court process, is that when an allegation is made in a civil case, it immediately becomes a criminal case.
Mhm.
The criminal allegations of any civil case should halt the civil proceedings and start the process of a criminal trial. Where due process, it becomes an Article 3 court. You have your right to a jury. You have your right to present facts and evidence to a jury. and then a decision is made, and then once that criminal process has been sped through as your right to a speedy, public, fair trial would be, then and only then can the civil aspect of your trial continue. So if, let's say, you are accused of rape and then you go to the criminal process and you're proven to be a rapist and a sex offender, you will get the appropriate response from the criminal justice system. And then when that happens, you will then resume as that outcome in the civil court, meaning you'll be treated as such and you will have the outcome as such. But what's happening is that the judge makes these decisions and there's no due process for either side. So due not process denied to one is due process denied to both. And I advocate for all parties' due process rights. Even if you're the accuser, you still have due process in this. And the civil court is unfortunately not where these things need to be handled. And as a result, you have years and decades of this type of behavior that has been pushed aside for the rich, and where it's expedient to remove somebody, they will remove somebody through the civil court. It's a complete violation of the Constitution.
Yep.
And judges have absolute immunity to do these things and know that it violates your due process rights, can even admit it, and still get no criminal charges themselves. And so that's why, again, the solution, and I'm not saying that this case or any other case, Mercedes, isn't heinous or despicable. I'm trying to say that how do we prevent it in the future?
Exactly. And that's why I'm glad that we had this to actually talk about, because this brings up a lot of good conversations with this. Because do I think he did it?
Get your coffee ready.
Right? Do I think he did it? I think he did, yes. But I'm also biased because I am a survivor, which means that... But I understand that because I pay a lot of money to understand these things.
But Mercedes...
we need to change the whole goddamn system, because until we change it, this won't stop.
Like, for example, Mercedes, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So we have a law in South Dakota that the bar is trying hard to repeal called Marsy's Law. Heard of it?
I believe yes, but refresh.
It's a victim's right bill at its whole, and the problem with that is that, but the beauty of it is there's a good side and a bad side. I guess I'll leave it to you. Which side should we hear first?
Start with the bad.
Okay, we'll start with the bad. The bad side is that Marsy's Law, it is a way for a victim to have their rights protected. So, for example, if somebody's convicted of a crime against you and they're getting out of jail, the state has the obligation to let you know that your assailant or whatever insert allegation and conviction here is getting out. They also have to inform you of trial dates and there's lots of laws that go into Marsy's Law and protections for victims. Now, where the bad side of this is that when you have a court that denies due process and essentially creates not one but two victims, the victimizer is still a victim of having their denied due process. The victim is still denied due process, and therefore I will say that the victim has more of an expedient chance of their allegation being believed if the show is better than the other.
Yeah.
If it's cost beneficial to them to make an allegation that they can, manifest and put it forward. There's also, there's bad sides to this. The good side on Marsy's Law would be if we took away this civil court criminal proceedings that are happening, because that's what they are. It's civil court acting like criminal court, which it doesn't have that jurisdiction. We need to take that jurisdiction out of these civil courts that they believe they have and put them into the constitutional jury protection for due process. And then a jury declares you a victim. Now you have your Marsy's Law rights. Now you will be informed of all proceedings and convictions and sentencings and all this information that you would hope you'd have access to. And if they're a registered sex offender, you'd have absolutely the right to know their address. It'd be broadcast all over the proper channel. So the downside to what we're doing is by keeping these criminal allegations in civil court, is we're not sticking to the principles that everybody is equal and due process is important. So
Yep.
we would see but the bar has the vested interest in doing it this way because it's a coin flip on either side, and they have more money to be gained.
Yeah,
than in
this
a
is all for
criminal
profit.
court.
It's all for
Right.
profit. They are in this to make
You
money.
get raped and they make money. How fucked up is that?
I get raped and my rape kit sits in backlog for 30 years, and then they test
And
him and
the-
find out it was a serial rapist who works for the freaking police department. Golden State rapist.
Right. Now, again, I'm Mercedes, I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. I can sense the frustration. What I'm saying is that now that judge, now that attorney have
You're
a
part of the
vested
problem.
no, they have a vested interest in the civil court proceedings to draw it out, to make it as volatile as it can be, to pick the headlines that are going to go out to the media, and the judge is going to rubber stamp whoever pays them the most money.
We could have a whole nother segment of nothing but criminal justice talk and about how the court system
It's
is.
civil and criminal justice.
It's
There's an overlapping area of these things that we need to separate.
Like church and state.
Thank you. Very excellent example
You mean-
of
Here's
Yeah.
here's what we're having in Nebraska.
well, actually, it's more like separating executive and judicial, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like our branches should be clear, equal, separate entities of powers for
As
perfect
the-
checks
no,
and
the-
balances.
The word is co-equal and separate.
Co-equal and separate entities. Oh, so I forgot what I was saying now because we went on that church and state tangent. Oh yes, so that's
No,
what
you
I'm
went on
dealing.
that.
Yeah, no. So that's what we're dealing with in Nebraska is victims have absolutely no rights. They're victim shamed into dropping their cases. They're intimidating into changing
well,
their stories.
No,
but
let me
There-
correct
but
you real
there's-
quick, Mercedes. That video, the
Was bad.
dad, it was bad, and it still could. I'm sure it can get bad. But what I'm saying is in that the
I know he's
prosecutor
not a rapist.
was pressuring. I wasn't there, and I don't know. I'm not in the jury pool.
But that's
but
just
my-
what I mean is
But my point is still the same. The dad of this accused said that the prosecutor said that if you drop this case, it's going to make this case look bad. And that's the attorney. And that's that middle ground.
mm-hmm.
And that's where that due process is being denied, is that
Am I-
that influence that should not be there in process of law. I don't know, like due process of law.
My thought on the legal system as someone who did not go to law school, because my mother did go to law school, and all she tells me now is, you need to go to law school and get your law degree. How about you just share
I
this
hear
knowledge
you,
that
Mom.
you're paying money for with me, so then I'm equally educated and I can go to Colorado and go to California and just take the bar. Because you don't need to go to college in California to take the bar. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, no. Oh, well, that's insane.
That it's a thing. As long as you pass the bar in California, you can practice law in California.
All right, just for the record, Mercedes, you're gonna probably have to do some what's the word we call it when a politician makes an incorrect statement?
Redactions.
No.
Eat my words. Apologies.
No, it's called backpedal.
Oh, I mean that's fine because I definitely did not look anything up. So
Well, a quick, simple search here has shown that in Nebraska, a constitutional
have
amendment
it.
for victims' right was passed in May 1997. So
Oh,
not
guess
only do
what?
you have it, you have 23 plus years of it,
and guess it's not being used.
and 78% of the voters at the time spent it. Look into it.
Yeah, what was that called? I'm gonna do it right
Marcy's Law.
now. Marcy's Law. That's why it sounded familiar, but I didn't know anything about it because we have it. And
Now,
we just don't use
let
it.
me tell you the other side and be warned. If you make a false allegation of rape and are
Oh, yeah.
proven to be a false allegation of rape, Marcy's Law actually works in the counter because you're now false accuser. Let's say, Mercedes, I accused you of rape. And I know, right? big allegation. There's breaking news here out of North Nebraska. So just as example,
I know.
I accuse you of rape, and it turns out you have evidence you weren't within a mile of 20 of me, and that you have 50 witnesses, and you were doing a live stream at a party, and I just make this allegation and I run with it. I would be criminally adjudicated for a false rape allegation, and you would have Marsy's Law victim rights because you were cleared of these allegations, and I, having being sentenced for false rape allegation and whatever other criminal charges come from it, you have the right to know that information, that date. You have the right to know when I get out of prison or jail, how long my sentence is, all this.
I like that. That's called equality.
It works on both sides, but the issue with Marsy's Law, the crux of it, is that it's the civil court acting as a criminal court. So to get rid of that problem, all we have to do is to say when a criminal allegation is made, there's a box on every civil form that you first fill out. Are you making criminal allegations against the defendant? If the checkbox is yes, that moves the process to a Article 3 court where you have the right to face your accuser, due process, all these issues that we don't get in civil court and that are hidden from the public. And so then the public is to make these wild, politically advantageous, assertions of who's guilty and who's innocent, and which side is politically more advantageous for their narrative. That cuts this out and gets right to truth and fact in the public eye, which is the most transparency you can get. So now you'll say, well, rape victims have a right to privacy. Then that's what Marsy's Law does declare. If you're a rape victim, your identity, you have the right to not have that be broadcast all over the world. Like, here's the rapist, here's who he raped on a piece of paper at your post office. It's that kind of rights protection. You can't be publicized in certain instances, especially children. There's children's rights that go into that. But that's a juvenile court and would be a different criminal court proceeding process all within its own. So, my issue with it, Mercedes, is that I can't say one way or another who's innocent and guilty because first and foremost, I'm not a juryman. I'm in the court of public opinion, but at the end of the day, if you were to show me a rape on screen, I'd be like, okay, that's a rape.
That's called snuff porn.
I know, I don't want to see it. But you know what the thing is? These prosecutors, these district attorneys, these sick fucks that can sell drugs to the community, then go to law school and become a
lawyer who criminalizes people.
Who then goes after all the people they hated.
Oh, you mean like when pedophiles are in public offices of power?
Yeah, things of that nature. I mean, the point being that there's a certain sect of the public that benefits, and they won't never care what a dumb person in South Dakota wearing a Joe Jorgensen hat and a shirt that says Internet Warlord or a what do you call yourself?
Stay-at-home politician.
A stay-at-home politician. They don't care what we say as long as they still make their money. They know their processes to make that money because they know when it comes down to it, the money is what's going to buy off that judge.
Exactly.
The money is what's going to make this world turn because it's in a civil court where they can hide shit. And if it was in a criminal court, they know they can't hide shit. There's a reason why there's more civil law attorneys and family law attorneys than there are people volunteering to help the criminal justice system and being public defenders and being lawyers for people in these trials once they happen. And that's why you see so many pro se litigants in criminal court. And here's my thing. I believe that once you check off that box that says you're making a criminal allegation, you don't have a right to go further in the civil court until that matter is resolved.
It should just bump you out.
It just says we don't have the jurisdiction here because you're making this allegation. Once you two can be, once there can be a civil process, and you don't try to turn this civil court into a criminal court, then and only then can we actually have substantive and procedural due process of law.
Drugs, criminal
I like-
offense. Rape, not criminal.
No. Rape is a crime. It creates a victim. I'm just saying that the way to become a victim in due process.
Yeah, I know.
You
That's what I mean. We
That-
gotta change.
that-
We just gotta change the system, CJ. That's all we gotta do.
Mercedes raped me. I'm a victim now forever. I'm gonna go on all these podcasts. I'm gonna go hold signs. Mercedes raped me. Again, folks, if you're just tuning in, this is all for educational purposes only. I'm not.
You gotta do a
actually
different voice.
Yeah, a different voice. So Mercedes raped me. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Throw her in jail. And so you just go. Well, there has to be a process here to prove this to be true or false. And it's not to say I'm right or wrong. It's not to say that any person making an allegation isn't telling the truth or not. It's just saying that this process you're trying to put it in is not the appropriate place. If you want to go make a criminal allegation, this is the place you do that. There is a process. And so, and if you try to continue with a civil case while making criminal allegations, your case will be dilatory. Your case will be out of order. Your case will not be heard.
Contempt of court.
And you will be in contempt of court if you continue to file paper terrorism.
Yeah, you can't use the court system to harass people that you don't like at the courts.
And if any attorney is doing like what we heard that attorney doing, saying, well, you know, if you drop this case now, this criminal allegation you've made in our civil court, it's not going to make this case look any really good. You're going to lose both. So if you really want to win and get your 50.01% chance of winning in a court, well, then you're going to listen to what I have to say because I'm the lawyer, a law sayer. I'm the one you're paying a bunch of money to. You know, and by the way, I'll throw you on the roadside as soon as there's a better case that comes along, and I'll just let them railroad you because it's all hidden anyways. So we're by essentially, if we got to get the narrative out there that says if you're accusing somebody of a heinous crime, don't take it to civil court. You're hurting your own case. You're putting it into a process where your rapist may not be registered as a sex offender.
So,
your
yeah.
rapist, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we have. So then it compounds the problem because of the system and how
If
it's
your
set
kid
up.
comes to you with a horrendous allegation, and God forbid that ever happened to you as a parent, your first advice shouldn't be, let's go talk to a civil attorney. Your first process should be to the sheriff for the criminal process, to the criminal court proceedings, and then a civil court can determine damages and what happens forward. And a judge can then write a nice articulated statement on why the outcome in the civil court was what it was and why sheriffs enforce orders the way they do. Because it's not the sheriff. The sheriff is a constitutional part of your due process right. Whether you believe it or not, the sheriff isn't there to just rule your life with an iron fist. They're there to make sure that your constitutional rights are protected.
Yep.
And so when I hear that an allegation's made in a civil court proceeding, and I hear an attorney say if you drop this or if you do this,
It's gonna mess up the other one.
It's gonna mess up all of it, and you're not actually doing anything for victims. You're actually hurting victims, and you're actually putting more of a potential of there being false allegations of abuse for a purpose that is for that nefarious reason. You can't tell me, Mercedes, that there are not women and men out there that will make the allegation just because they know it's throwing a wrench into the whole.
Oh, yeah.
system.
Oh, you mean like my brother-in-law getting his kids taken because she called 911 and alleged that he was beating the kids?
Wait a minute.
Oh, weird?
You sound rational, like you've experienced this to some degree, so you're not going to make just an ignorant, biased opinion on issues.
I'm
Whoa,
sorry, CJ.
Weird.
I'm
Whoa,
sorry.
Weird.
Sorry. It affects all of us, and people who advocate for a broken system or people who do not. Are not people who advocate for broken systems are not affected by broken systems, and so they're perpetuating the problem by not listening.
Amen.
We get all the money, so we must know how to manage your lives better than you. We know You just sit down and let us take care of it and go make us more money.
No,
That's
Mercedes,
my
you
area.
get elected to Senate. Well, we're gonna have to wrap this up here in a minute, but you get elected to Senate. I get elected to Senate. In less than a minute, this is a libertarian question. In less than 1 minute, can you explain what you would do to change the system?
I say that again because my husband just interrupted me. So that's the first thing I'd change.
Libertarian. Yeah, you sound like Miss Harlow. Shut the door.
Shut the door, Wayne!
Shut the door, Wayne. So.
In under a
any-
minute.
Under a minute. Explain to the audience here that have cared enough to listen to us all the way through.
God
What
bless
would
us all.
you do? Right? Amen. What would you do to fix the system? You have 1 minute to convince America.
I would definitely look at the criminal justice system as it stands. Wow, my makeup's upset today. And take away all the victimless laws. We definitely need a change. We need to look at the laws in which have been written, because instead of finding the root problem for them, all we've done is write laws to create band-aids, and it's creating more victims than it's helping. So we need to just go in, decriminalize drugs, because obviously that's what our government's been focusing on. We need to get government out of our prison systems. We need to go to rehabilitation, and we just need more people to be involved in change. So as a libertarian, I'm going to try to make government not impact your life every day, starting at the local level, because that's how we do it.
Excellent, Mercedes. I would vote for you if you were running here in District 23, because then I wouldn't have to run myself.
I said that last night.
Yeah, I would vote for you if you just lived here, because
I would vote for you if you lived here.
I didn't want to do it, but if you understand where I'm coming from, you don't want.
You don't.
You don't want just to walk in.
I told everybody I'm running because my opponent was unopposed, and I didn't think he was doing a good job, and I couldn't find anybody else to run in my place, so I did it because somebody had to and no one else would. And the best jobs are done yourself.
Amen. Mercedes, vote Mercedes.com.
Vote CJ Abernathy.
I don't have a website for my campaign yet, but Mercedes, you're always welcome on. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for letting me invade. I didn't even get to the Jews or the Holocaust.
It's Friday, Mercedes. We went into a long thesis on due process. I think we can save the Jews and the Holocaust for another day. I mean,
fine. Whatever you say,
all right.
CJ.
All right, Mercedes. You have a great day. I'll talk to you again soon.
Peace out, girls.
All right, you guys. What a Friday. I have to go do Adam versus the Man. I'm very excited about today's show. We have a great guest. So let's just go into this weekend. I don't know. The world around us is crumbling. Coronavirus is infecting the world, and Trumpophiles and pedocrats are going to always have the lesser of two evil argument that will continue to perpetuate us down the road of not tyranny, but slavery. Slavery to a government that does not give a fuck about your rights, you as an individual, whether you're a victim or a perpetrator. Now is an interesting time to live in America. And I would just say my only advice to you is try to develop a thought that isn't in that narrative of, what's socially acceptable. Challenge yourself to speak about a problem in a way that isn't predicted, that isn't, does this gonna make my boy Trump look bad if I say he was pictured with Ghislaine Maxwell and he wished her well? Is it gonna make me look bad if I was sniffing kids like Joe Biden? The thought being that you are your own individual, your own entity. You have rights, and among those rights are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And this system does not care about your life, does not care about your liberty, And it certainly does not care about your pursuits of happiness. And whether you agree with me or disagree with me, whether that's based on you just hate my beard, you hate my guests, you hate who I talk to, whether you dislike the person I'm producing a show for, or which social circles I will entertain in order to achieve a more broader view to how to understand people I disagree with. I disagree with a lot of people. I still treat them with kindness, courtesy, dignity, and respect. This government doesn't give you that. You're fooling yourself if you believe that. And I'll leave you on this last note. Have a good day or don't. Have a good weekend or don't. I'll see you guys Monday. The choice is always yours.
Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by